Didn't have any energy. I was really lethargic, really deeply depressed. Was just desperately looking for something. I felt like I'd tried everything. I was completely stuck, and that's the first time that's ever happened in my life where I felt like it was truly deeply in my soul and embodied in who I am as a person, and that shifted my relationship with him incredibly. I feel like I may have ended up in a wheelchair if I had not have found something soon. The relief on the nervous system was huge. It was years and years of repressed emotions that I was holding on to, actually experiencing happiness and not wondering what it is. Oh my gosh, I have a relationship with my body now. Well, I'm showing up. I wasn't showing up before. I wasn't, because I had no capacity, but also I didn't feel like I had any emotional or mental capacity, especially in the jungle. I'd feel really safe, so I would be here, I'd be expressing, but like super grateful for it because I've learned so much more about myself in the process.
Hi, Bridgette.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So just some questions about your experience at the jungle. Before you came to the jungle, what was your life like day to day?
My life day to day was in quite a lot of pain. I was struggling to get through the day because I have years of chronic illness that I was coming in with. So I was feeling didn't have any energy. I was really lethargic, really deeply depressed, and was just desperately looking for something, just something to help. Yeah.
What health challenges were you dealing with?
Chronic fatigue, mold-related illnesses, autoimmune stuff. Lots of things that have affected my metabolism, my weight, my ability to do any physical activities, any exercise.
And what had you already tried before coming here?
I was currently working with a specialist. So I'd gone to see a specialist who was a specialist in the things that I had. And things continued to get worse over 10 months with that time with the specialist. Before that, I'd seen every type of naturopath, every type of doctor, every type of alternative healer or remedy practitioner. I felt like I'd tried everything.
And how did you feel about your body and your future at that point?
Really bleak. Yeah, I didn't feel like I had a future. I didn't feel like I could make it through the next day. Every day just felt like the worst day. And that how am I going to get through the next day? So it was really like, couldn't see anything past what I was experiencing in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you believe things could change, or were you just feeling completely stuck?
I was completely stuck. I know in the back of my mind and in my heart somewhere, I knew that it could, but there wasn't anything in my life showing me that belief was true. I couldn't hang on. There wasn't anything I could hang on to that was going to give me a sense of, oh, this is good. It's working. I'm getting better. Yeah.
And what made you decide to start the resurrection program?
Because I'd come in a few times, actually months prior to the program, and we'd spoken about the program. And at that time, I was just starting with the specialist, and I thought, well, this is a specialist in the things that I have, so surely they should be the best person to get the help. I had a conversation with you and then slipped back into doing that with the specialist. And then just months had gone by and nothing was getting any better. Things were actually progressively getting worse. And then I was like, I'm just going to reach out to this chick again and see what I can. I'm just going to try something different because it's not working. And so I'd come in quite a bit to use the saunas and the cryotherapy to start with, and then we'd spoken about the program on and off throughout that, and I've progressively felt safer, that it was a safe place for me to come to, that it was a place that was going to hear what I needed and to be able to cater to allowing me to heal in that space. Yeah.
Was there a moment when you realised it was something deeper that had to change?
I think I always knew that. I think I've always understood the mind-body connection and trauma-related and illness-related connections. I just needed to see it happening. I needed to experience where I felt like I was healing in a way so that I could see it physically. So I think I was very like, okay, let's see what you've got sort of thing. This when I started, but I just kept turning up and it started to show. Yeah.
Was there anything that surprised you about the process?
I think how powerful it really is. Like, I think I did come in with quite a lot of self-awareness. So I really knew some of my family traumas and things that I was carrying right with me at that time when I came in. What I think I'm surprised about is just how effective it was. I'm just kind of like reflecting back over it and just that it was actually working. Yeah, I think that was my biggest surprise because I was kind of like, I've been to so many of these things before. Tell me your story, tell me how it works. And we'll see. So I think I was maybe surprised that I was like, oh, she's right. It is working.
That's cool. Was there one breakthrough moment that stands out the most from that 6 months?
Yeah, I think I'm releasing quite a lot of trauma related to my dad and my father, and that was anger that I'd held on to since I was a kid. I can't remember myself as a human being, as an adult, as a young teen, not having this constant dissatisfaction and constant rage and anger towards my dad. And there was this moment that after we'd gone through probably like 6 or 7 weeks of working through stuff related to my dad, where I just had this overwhelming sense of compassion and love and understanding and forgiveness for my dad. And that's the first time that's ever happened in my life where I felt like it was truly deeply in my soul and embodied in who I am as a person. And that shifted my relationship with him incredibly, that it's such a fun relationship now. I get to enjoy the person who he is and not who I wanted him to be as a father for me as a young girl.
What did you start to understand about your body or your patterns that you hadn't seen before?
I was how and when I don't feel safe and when I would suppress my emotions. So I would feel safe in certain environments, especially in the jungle. I'd feel really safe. So I would be here, I'd be expressing, I'd be letting everything out, and I would be getting in the car, going home. And then I would notice myself shutting down and emotionally shutting down. And then I felt how I've felt sort of all my life, where I felt like I'm holding on to how I really feel or what I really want to express. So I saw that pattern and have fun and learning to adapt, let go of that pattern, see that pattern, but then also find other ways in which to allow myself to express those things, even if it's just for myself, not necessarily for anybody else, but so that I'm not holding on to those things. Yeah.
How did the emotional and nervous system work affect your physical health?
Oh my God, hugely. I actually don't know. I feel like I may have ended up in a wheelchair if I had not have found something soon. I was heading in that direction where I couldn't walk. I was bedridden. And oh gosh, the relief on the nervous system was huge. It was years and years of repressed emotions that I was holding on to. And it was just affecting me so much. I didn't realize how much that nervous system, because I was looking at all these other ailments, I didn't realize how much the nervous system played a huge part in that. And so doing a lot of the alchemy plus some of the recoveries as well allowed me to really just settle into my body so much more in a way that I could actually feel what was going on and paying attention to what was happening. And I didn't feel like I was on edge every day. I was more relaxed in my life. And I felt joy coming back, happiness, actually experiencing happiness and not wondering what it is. This concept of happiness, it was something that I was actually feeling and experiencing and still do every day. Yeah.
Was there anything that felt uncomfortable or confronting during the process?
Yeah, all of it, but in a really good way. I don't think I was afraid of what I was going to feel, but I think I was a little shocked sometimes of what would come up and be like, oh, I had no idea, no matter how much kind of self-awareness or self-understanding work I had done, it was never enough to really show me what was going on inside. And so I think part of it was like, oh, that's different to what I thought, or didn't take me to where I think it was going to go. But like super grateful for it, because I've learned so much more about myself in the process. Yeah.
So if you look back now, what has changed in your health?
Well, I've been bedridden for probably the last 18 months, and I've been able to go to the shops. I've been able to like sit up for much more and have a lot more capacity. On the outside, it looks like I'm functioning pretty well, like kind of like a normal human.
Quite well, actually.
Quite really well. I'm doing aerial yoga. I've just put in my aerial yoga hammock at home as of 2 days ago. So doing physical movements in ways that supports and helps my body, and that's fun and interesting and exciting to do. That I never saw myself doing. Yeah, there's a lot of like day-to-day things that I wasn't able to do that I'm able to do now.
And what about your energy?
Energy is so much better than it was. I still find that there's low days, but I'm understanding that that's connected to my emotional state. And I'm like, well, if you move through the emotion, which is how I was feeling yesterday, and I was being really bratty about it, and I was like, I don't want to and whatever. And then I was like, just fucking sit for a couple of minutes, feel through. And when I did, I shifted through, had some tears, and I woke up feeling great again today. So I've got tools, and I understand that now more, rather than going into a spiral about why my energy's not good or there. Yeah.
How do you relate to your body now compared to before?
Oh my gosh, I have a relationship with my body now. Like an actual relationship where I'm present with it, I'm feeling what it feels like to live in my body, and also having gratitude for what it can do on a daily basis, and like feeling my feelings and understanding where I am in the day. And I understand how I process feelings and my emotions and my world around me so much better.
So what's changed in your relationships and how you show up in those now?
Well, I'm showing up. I wasn't showing up before. I wasn't, because I had no capacity, but also I didn't feel like I had any emotional or mental capacity. And so now is like, I feel like I've got something to give those around me, and that I can love wholeheartedly. And I can see where I've like not been a great sister, or not been a great daughter, or not been a great friend or a great colleague or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I can do better. And I have capacity to do that. And it doesn't feel like this huge thing that I need to do. It's just like who I am. I'm embodying being a person who loves their life.
When did you realise you were actually feeling like yourself again?
It was pretty midway through, in about 3 months in. Yeah, because I've done 6 months of it. So yeah, about midway through. And when other clients in the place who had seen me from when I first started had made some really nice comments, they're like, you're looking so vibrant and beautiful, and you've got like this beautiful outlook on life. I'm like, yeah, that's just me. And I realized that that was me that was lost for so long. So it was nice to see that reflected back.
And after everything you've experienced, because this is all incredible, what made you decide to actually learn this human integration process that we're doing?
Because it had such an impact on my life. That wasn't a hard decision. It really wasn't. I mean, I said to you, Hannah, from the start, let me just get through the first round and see where I'm at. And then I did the first round, and I was like, well, that's an easy decision. We didn't really talk much more about it, because it was something that I just felt so easy. It wasn't this big convoluted process as a client to be able to just sit there and just feel. It just seemed so easy. So
who do you feel called to help now?
A big part is communities that I work with. So Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. I know that there's a lot of trauma that we hold just generationally, and it affects how we exist in our world every day, from the smallest things that we might not even realise. And especially when we work in many institutions that are built through colonisation to oppress Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. So I'm really interested and we have so much burnout and so much fatigue and so many people overworking themselves to try to be as good as or be seen as good as. And so I think there's a place for me to work with clients in that space.
And what would you say to someone who is struggling with their health the way you were?
That you don't have to live like that. You don't have to live in pain every day. That there are people and modalities and things that can help.
And if someone is sitting on the fence about doing this particular work, what would you tell them?
Just give it a try. I didn't trust the process, and I just needed a little taste of it to know that it was the right thing. And I think just giving it a try, because what have you got to lose? You've tried everything else probably, so give it a try and see if it works for you.
How has this experience changed what you believe is possible for people?
Oh, yeah, that's huge. I can see my own possibilities now. I was so stuck in sort of like what was hurting right now. And I couldn't see beyond myself in that moment. So now I can see like a greater vision for myself. And I believe that that's for others as well. I can see how when you get out of like the trauma cycles and stuck in that, then you can see so much more of like actually who you are and what your potential is and what you can give into the world.
And if you could go back and speak to the version of you who first walked into the jungle, what would you tell her?
I would tell her, just stick with it, because trust me, this is the thing that you've been looking for.
I love you.
I love you too.